Hi there, Dawn McVey here. Today we're going to talk about how to create a faux pocket on the front of your card using simply a piece of cardstock or pattern paper of your choice and some foam adhesive. It's a really fun little technique that packs a lot of punch. Let's get right to it. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is create the actual faux pocket. So I've just got a piece of vintage cream cardstock that's been cut to 3.5 by 3 inches. And I'm going to use the Background Basics Rainbows stamp set to stamp a pattern over this entire piece of cardstock. Now for the second one, you want to use the little points at the bottom of those little rainbows to tuck right into the space that was left by the previous one. And that's how you get it lined up perfectly each time. I'll stamp this 2 more times. And now we're going to use the other stamp from the same set, Background Basics Rainbows. This time I'm going to stamp this part of the pattern in Raspberry Fizz ink. Those little umbrellas, or not umbrellas, I'm sorry, rainbows, get tucked right inside the spaces that the first stamp left for us. Okay, so now that we've got our faux pocket created, one other thing I'm going to do is take a 1 1/4 inch circle punch, and I'm just going to punch a small sort of tab out of the front, maybe just a little more, out of the front of this pocket, just like that. So that makes it a little more official pocket looking. So we'll set that aside for now. Now we're going to make a couple of just little embellishments for the front of our pocket. So I've used the Rosy Posy dies to die cut some leaves. I've got 3 leaves here, 2 small ones and 1 large, using the Rosy Posy leaf die, but I'm just gonna, I've die cut those from fine linen pattern paper from the pattern pack, just so that I don't have to stamp them. I've already got a lot of pattern going on that pocket, so I wanted a nice subtle color and didn't want to bring in some green for the leaves, so I've gone with this little neutral leaf color. And I've got the large stamp here from the Rosy Posy stamp set. This is the largest flower. And I'm going to stamp that on a vintage cream die cut. Those are the Rosy Posy flower dies. So we'll set that aside for now. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and prep the tag ahead of time. So I've used the tag sale number 6 die to die cut this cute tag, and I die cut it from the same pattern paper that I did for the leaves. And this is my Hello Friend stamp set, and I'm going to use this sentiment that says, well, hello there. And I'm going to tuck that right up at the top of the tag so that it peeks out from the top when the tag is in its faux pocket. So we'll just line this up. And one more little bit on the tag as far as the stamping goes. This is my tagged sentiment stamp set, and I'm going to use this birthday sentiment. It says, wishing you a fabulous birthday. And I'm going to tuck this down toward the bottom. Just like so. So now we are done with all of the stamping. So now we can start putting things together. So for a surprising little pop of color, I've got some Aqua Mist cardstock that I've cut and scored to make a standard A2 size card. And now we're going to take the pocket, as you can see here. I'd stamped a bit on here earlier when I was playing around with my card design ideas. So I'm going to just flip it over. This is the back side. Yours will probably be plain. Mine is nice and stamped on. The bottom two bits of foam adhesive I'm putting a little bit higher, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Basically though, you're just going to line the outer 3 edges of your pocket with foam adhesive squares. Because essentially what we're doing here is creating a little pocket that this will slide into. And by keeping those bottom 2 bits of foam adhesive a little bit higher up, it keeps the tag positioned just so that the sentiment stays popped up. I'm going to move this one up just a smidge so it'll hold it right where we want it. So it'll hold it right in place so the sentiment is perfectly placed. So the last thing I want to do to that tag while I have it sitting here is I'm going to add a button. These are my favorites from the Raspberry Fizz button bag. They're kind of a little bit iridescent, and they're the perfect shade of Raspberry Fizz. So I'm going to thread this with a little Pure Poppy baker's twine. Just a little bit, and I'm just going to go in from the back, down from the front, and I'm just going to leave the tails hanging. And I'll add a little bit of score tape right to the back of the button. And we'll place that right on the tag, right in the middle where we cut that little half moon shape. Trim off the excess. And one last thing for this tag, I'm going to put some dark chocolate twine. Just going to tie a little bow on the top. Got that cute little hole at the top of the tag. We might as well dress it up just a little bit. So we'll trim off the excess again. And now we're ready to pop everything in place. I'm just going to peel the backings off of the foam adhesive. And now we'll stick it down on the front of the card. I'm scooching it down toward the bottom of the card front a little bit. And now we're going to add our flower and leaves to accent the pocket. I need a little more foam adhesive on the back of the flower. And I'm just going to use regular adhesive on the back of each of these leaves down at the bottom of the leaf. So just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and peel the backs off of these little bits of foam adhesive, and then everything's ready to go together all at the same time. I like to have the flower ready to press into place when I'm placing my leaves, so everything gets positioned just exactly how I want it. And it's hard to see that until you've got that flower ready to go down. think about like that is good. In fact, I think I'm going to tuck that flower just a wee bit more. So I'll mush everything down and then pop those leaves forward just a bit. And lastly, we tuck our tag right into our faux pocket, and the foam adhesive along the bottom keeps the tag exactly into place so it can't fall out. And the recipient, at first glance, thinks they've got just a little hello card, but there's a little surprise birthday wish waiting for them when they pull the tag out. So there you have it. If you'd like to play along this week, we would love to see your take on the Faux Pocket Challenge. Just head over to Nicole Hetty's blog to leave the link to your project so we can all see what you came up with. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. This has been Dawn McVey with Make It Monday.